What is going on, you guys? I'm coming here today with an Armada build, and we're going to be doing a Squadron heavy build today, which is kind of outside of my norm, but I was trying to toy around with some stuff that I don't usually do. So Hera is going to be kind of the focus of this build today, in that we're not necessarily going to need to do as many Squadron commands. We can still do a few, but we're also going to use a lot of bombers, so I'm going to use Norra Hera as well, and I won't necessarily need to activate her because we can have Hera doing a lot of that. Gold Squadron is another prime squadron to put in here because of the 2 dice for bomber and not having rogue, so Hera is perfect for somebody like Gold Squadron. I do want a little protection. So for insurance policies, we're going to put an HWK, and we're going to put an escort in here, but I'm going to bump it up to Wedge, just because he's probably going to be one of my best anti-squadron fighters out there. Although Hera is going to be really good against squadrons as well. But I don't think I'm really going to need Luke. I was thinking about doing Luke, but I decided to go with Wedge instead because Norra is kind of going to help take care of those shields, so we don't necessarily have to do Luke in this particular build. Now, I'm not done there. I am going to add a couple more bombers, but I'm going to go with Lancers. I'm going to do 3 Lancer class pursuit craft, and we got kids running around here, so I apologize for that. But yeah, the Lancers running around in the background here, and the Lancers have rogues, so I don't have to activate them with a squadron command. So I've got Hera, 3 Lancers, and 2 more squadrons that are going to activate automatically. So either Wedge or the HWK, or probably aren't going to get necessarily activated, but they don't necessarily really need to be attacking the ships. We can get them in position. We can afford that. And if we do get our stuff close enough, then they can go ahead and activate these guys as well. That being said, that's 133 points. That's pretty heavy squadrons. We're looking at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squadrons there, and they're all pretty beefy. So that's a really strong squadron presence. So now what about the rest of the ships? So I am going to go ahead and go with an MC-75. I want to, I've kind of gone back and forth on which ships to use, and a lot of times I wanted to go with like a bunch of smaller ones that I could still get a lot of ships out there. But I do want at least one beefy ship. Our commander is going to be General Dodonna, which really works with bombers, also because he's cheap, and I'm trying to squeeze as much into here as I can, with also wanting to be first player because this is going to have profundity on it. I'm not going crazy for first player, but I'm going to definitely try. So with profundity on there, we're going to add a Hammerhead Corvette, and this will be pretty kind of standard. We'll go with boarding parties, or boarding troopers rather, external racks, and Gorell's Honor. So this way we can drop this guy, go ahead and drop their tokens and hit them with a whole bunch of dice, and they'll lose whatever tokens they spend, which is just great. And then ram them. So this is just a really nice bomb that we can drop on somebody. The MC-75 is going to have some great front dark black dice with expanded launchers. We're also going to put assault concussions on this thing. So this is going to be really strong. We are not going to have that many activations, so I'm going to put Strategic Advisor in here to help make up for that. Hopefully we're going to be getting in their face. We're going to want not gunnery team, I grabbed the wrong one. While gunnery team is good, I don't think it's best for black dice because ordnance experts I'm going to use. You could use Keiko and Sholin also, but I'm trying to get lower on the initiative, so I'm going with ordnance experts. And since we're going to be in close proximity, we need to stay alive with electronic countermeasures. So a lot of points on this ship and a lot of points in squadrons, which means we don't have much points for everything else. We're already at 341 points at this point, so I had to make some tough choices to fill out the build. We could do a CR90, which would put us kind of close, but instead I decided to go with 2 flotillas. That's now the cap for any tournament sanctioned game, but I decided to go with combat retrofits. This way at least I have 2 more shooting ships. Now if I go with GR75s, I can play those a little bit more like a normal attack ship. I can do concentrate fire with them if I want, and my opponent's going to be less likely to want to kill them since they don't really give a whole lot extra. Now you can stop there if you want us to do it 389, but I'm going to give one of them, CommsNet, puts me up to 391. This is still a strong initiative bid. I still have a really good chance of being first player. But what's great about this list, the way it sits right now, is that, I mean, I'll have the Hammerhead out there, but I've got 4 ships and a lot of squadrons. Now, I'll start off with only 3 because this guy will be on board the MC-75, but still between deploying a GR-75 first and then delaying with a lot of squadrons, I can really wait to place this guy last. And if I end up not being first player, well, then I can use Profundity and drop this guy much earlier, just to kind of, you know, give him a good position where he's not going to get necessarily blown up the turn I bring him in. That being said, this is, you know, this is it, 391. There's a lot of flexibility here. Let's look at objectives, though. So for assault, you know, I don't usually. The opening salvo is a possibility here. I usually don't do opening salvo for less than 5, but since all 4 of my ships can shoot, even the GR-75s could take advantage of it. But I am going to go back to the default for having an empty flotilla, and it is most wanted. That's just going to be too important for this one. But you know, there's other options too. The advanced gunnery could definitely work for that MC-75. When you do get him in close range, you're going to be able to shoot somebody twice. That's going to be really nice. But I like most wanted in this case. It does make my GR-75s able to throw extra dice when they get close to that other objective ship, which is very nice as well. For our defense, I'm going to go ahead and go with fighter ambush. I don't usually like to do fighter ambush, especially since the nerf of relay. But since I've got so many rogues and Hera, which is kind of like the new ultimate relay, I think fighter ambush could really work. I would be able to activate most of these squadrons right away. And against a build that doesn't have many squadrons, this would absolutely crush. So that much is very powerful. And then for our navigation, we have, you know, a lot of times I'll go with Solar Corona, but here I'm going to go with superior positions. And the biggest reason here is that I have so many ships with Rogue. I have a very, very good chance of being able to get that rear hull zone. So that's going to be a lot of extra victory points. I think that's definitely going to be kind of the way to go. One of my biggest problems right now is that there doesn't seem to be too many options when it comes to blues, because you know, dangerous territory. You know, having Jaina's Light come out and you know, right at the beginning of the game, kind of anytime that somebody chose this one, they had Jaina's Light, and they got to also have just as good of a benefit and pick up stuff without any penalty. So this one was never really that good for me. The best use I've seen of dangerous territory was somebody using it just to tempt me to split my fleet up. Intel sweep, I've never been a big fan of that, although you can get 75 points out of it. But like these, well, a lot of these objective-based ones just, you know, encourage you to, you know, go off and, you know, ignore the battle when the points don't really justify it. Minefields was a great one until strategic came along, and you know, salvage run works, I think, if you've got interdictors and can kind of build the battlefield the way you want. Navigational hazards is a fun one, and you get to move the obstacles around a little bit. I can see that one being a thing with Dodana. That one maybe, but I don't think any of these come close to these two. And then SensorNet, not a big fan of SensorNet. Solar Corona and superior positions are pretty much the only ones that you can use and get away with, in my opinion. But yes, that's basically it. Yellows could use some work too, but the reds have the best diversity as far as builds go. The reds are usually my favorite. If you wanted to change this out, you could probably drop both of these flotillas and put a CR-90A in there and give it maybe a turbo laser reroute circuit. It'd still be a 392. You'd really only be starting off with 2 ships though. But you know, this one would have a pretty good amount of firepower. A lot of it really depends on what the objective is. Like if they go with most wanted, your GR-75s are going to potentially have a lot more firepower, because you can throw a blue die and then you can throw you know, another die. If you concentrate fire, you can throw 3 dice out of each of them. So that much is pretty good. I'm a kind of a fan of that. And also, people don't expect at least where I play, a lot of people expect GR75s on the board are just not something you even need to worry about, especially since they don't have Bomber Command Center, which is something you could absolutely add. The reason I'm not using Bomber Command Center on here is that I don't plan to fly these guys all up in my opponent's face, because the squadrons can kind of operate independently, and they don't really need the GR75 support. The GR75s are meant to stay a little bit further in the back and be able to attack with blue dice, kind of helping to lower those shields. The squadrons will, in theory, attack, and then the following round, the GR75s will be shooting against a ship that has no shields left. And those little blue dice are going to really force you, like, well, do you want to redirect your remaining shields and start spending those defense tokens now? Oh, I did a concentrate fire and I rolled a crit and a hit with 2 blue dice. Do you want to spend your contain, or do you want to spend your brace now and really kind of force them to make some tough decisions? So that is the list. We're using Ryan Kingston's Fleet Builder today, so make sure you check them out. And I'll put a link in the description below. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think down in the comments below. Don't forget to check out Crabbok.com and Discord. We're still looking for people to submit their paint jobs and stuff, so I'll be featuring community paint jobs as well as any other creative content you guys have. Just post that in Discord and we'll occasionally feature those. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.